Hi grade 2s, welcome back. So today we are going to be looking at fractions. So fractions are when we look at objects or groups of objects that we cut up into equal sized pieces. So an example of an object is if you order a pizza and you need to cut it up. Okay, now you want to cut it up equally so each person gets the exact same size. Okay. Where if I'm looking at a group of objects, I can think of a box of eggs. And in a box of eggs, there are usually 6, and each egg is generally the same size. Okay, so that is what we are looking at today. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look for is half. Now, if you look over here, this 1 at the top represents one piece of how many? 2. So we know that whatever we're going to do here, we're going to break it up into groups of 2. Okay. So to find half of a number of objects, you need to divide them by 2. Break them up by 2. Count the number of cakes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 cakes. There are 8 cakes. Divide them between the 2 children so that they have the same number each. The best way to do this is 1 for me, 1 for you. So again it says we are dividing it, we are breaking it up or sharing it between 2 people at the moment. Okay, so let's go. 1 for the girl, 1 for the boy, all the way until there's no more cakes left on the plate. How many cakes does each child have? So again it asks, how many cakes does each child have? Each child has 4 cakes. So if you said 4, you are correct. So half of 8 is 4. Now, if you remember when I first spoke about this, we were talking about the fact that the 1 is one set of the 2. So here's one set. And here's one set. And how many sets do we each have? We have 2. So let's count them. 1, 2. Okay. So one of the sets of 8 equals 4 because there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now try another one. This time there are 12 cakes. If we divide them between 2, how many cakes will each child have? So let's quickly do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So how many cakes does each child have? Each child has 6 cakes. So if you said 6, you are correct. So half of 12 is 6. Okay, remember I said with this one we have 2 groups, 1, 2, but we're only looking at one group. So let's look at this little boy here. So he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cakes, and there's our answer. Finding a quarter. Now again, let's look at this here. So we know that this means we are breaking up each group into 4s. Okay, and we're only going to be looking at one of those groups. You need to divide by 4 to find 1 quarter, or break it up by 4. Count the number of bones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so there's 8 bones. Okay, there are 8 bones. Divide the bones between the 4 dogs so that they have the same number each. How many bones does each dog have? 1 for that one, 1 for that one, 1 for that one, 1 for that one. And again, let's quickly do that. Okay, so how many bones does each dog have? Each dog has 2 bones. Okay, because now remember I said we're breaking the bones I said we're going to break these bones into groups of 4. So there's 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups. Remember? Okay. So quarter of 8 is 2. And the reason why we're saying that is because each dog has 2 bones. Okay. So a quarter of 8 equals 2. So remember, the top number, this number here, this top number, I'm only looking at one of the groups, where the bottom number tells me how many groups there are going to be. Okay, this time we are going to be looking at 1/3. Okay, so it says we divide by 2 to find 1/2, and 4 to find 1/4. So there's 2 and 2, 4 and 4. What do you think we need to divide by to find 1/3? Have a look at the 1/3 fraction. So, are we looking at the top number over here or the bottom number? You need to divide by 3 to find 1/3. So we're dividing it by the bottom number. We are breaking it up into groups of 3. Okay, into 3 groups. There are 9 butterflies. Divide them between the 3 flowers so that the same number is on each flower. How many butterflies are on each flower? So there's 1 butterfly, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 butterflies. So how many butterflies are on each flower? Okay, so each flower should have 3 butterflies. So if you said 3, you are correct. So 1/3 of 9 is 3. So if we break 9 up into 3, we have 3. 1/3 of 9 equals 3. So remember, I said the bottom number, this bottom 3, is telling us how many groups there have to be. 1, 2, 3, remember? But the top number is telling us which groups we are looking at, and we're only going to be looking at 1 group. Okay, so 1 group of 3 of the 9 equals 3, because there's only 3 butterflies on that flower. Try another one. This time there are 12 butterflies. If we divide them by 3, how many butterflies will be on each flower? Let's do this quickly. Okay, so how many butterflies are on each flower? Let's have a look again. Okay. Each flower has 4 butterflies. So 1/3 of 12 is 4. Okay, remember, bottom number tells us groups. So 1, 2, 3. Top number tells us how many groups we're looking at. We're just looking at 1 group. So in that 1 group there are 1, 2, 3, 4 butterflies. Okay. Challenge. If you found it easy to find 1/2, 1/4 and 1/3, try these next few challenges. Okay, so we're going to find 3/4. It's going to be easy. I'm going to go through it with you. Okay. You know how to find 1/4. So now let's look at finding 3/4. First, find 1/4. There are 8 eggs. If we divide these eggs between 4 baskets, how many eggs will be in each basket? 1, 2, 3, 4. So how many eggs will be in each basket? If you said 2 eggs in each basket, you are correct. Okay. To find 3/4, simply count the total number of eggs in 3 baskets. So remember, I said that this number here tells us how many groups or baskets we're going to need. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember? And this number tells us how many baskets or groups we are looking at. So 1, 2, 3 baskets. And there are 6 eggs in those 3 baskets. Okay, so we're counting 1 egg, 2 eggs, 3 eggs, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so 3/4 of 8 is 6. Finding 2/3. You know how to find 1/3. So now let's look at finding 2/3. First, find 1/3. There are 6 paintbrushes. If we divide these paintbrushes between 3 jars, how many paintbrushes will be in each jar? So there's 1 paintbrush. Okay, so each jar has got. So if you said that there will be 2 brushes in each jar, you are correct. To find 2/3, simply count the total number of brushes in 2 of the jars. Because remember, this bottom number tells us the groups. 1, 2, 3. And the top number tells us how many groups we are looking at. 1, 2. There are 4 brushes in 2 of the jars. So if we counted the brushes in those jars with the circles around them, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2/3 of 6 is 4. Okay, and that is it. That is a quick, short introduction to your fractions. Next time we're going to fractions, we're not going to be using the groups. We're going to probably be using as one object, and we're going to cut it up into different fractions. Okay, bye grade 2s.